Hi, I'm Joseph, co-founder of the Abundant Culture Fund, and today we are getting ready to analyze an investment opportunity that can help you grow your retirement income faster and with less risk. A lot of people do not know that they can actually use small business acquisitions as a way to move toward retirement. And I think it's the best way to actually move towards retirement because one, they generate more income, as you'll see later on in this video, and two, I believe they're actually, if you have the right team in place, they can be less risky than other traditional assets like stocks, bonds, and multifamily real estate, which we can talk more about later. So, as you can see, if you look at my screen, we have a regional landscape irrigation and paving company. And some of the things that stand out to me about this business is that it's been around for 25 years. Any company that's been around for decades, usually they're pretty good companies because it's really hard to have a business for that long and maintain it and continue to grow it over time. Um, it grossed 2.8 million in 2020, which 2020 was a terrible year. So if you made more money, that is awesome. It has 17 employees, and they have such a good reputation that they're saying here that they don't have to bid on most of their jobs for the most part, which is cool. Basically, meaning that customers are going to them saying like, "Hey, I already know your work. What would it cost to get this done? Okay, I'll pay it." That is a good relationship to have with the community that you're operating your business in. And right here it says that they are willing to offer some small seller financing. So remember, seller financing is when somebody who owns an asset says, okay, instead of getting a loan to pay me, just pay me on a monthly or whatever basis that we agree upon. And those terms will be negotiated between you and the owner instead of you and another bank. The reason why the person is selling is because they're seeking to pursue their other interests after basically owning this business for 25 years. And it seems like they have a pretty good facility as well, from what I was reading. So if you want to read more up on it, you can pause the video or whatever the case may be. So let's get into the numbers. The business, it has an asking price of 1.3 million, and it has a gross revenue of 2.8 million, which is really really good, really strong revenue. Has furniture, fixture, and equipment of $140,000, and has a cash flow of $425,000, which means that they probably have a decent profit margin for the most part. They have inventory of a little over $1,000, which I would expect there to be more for a company that grosses 2.8 million, but maybe most of their revenue comes from the actual service, which wouldn't be considered an inventory. They have a rent of $2,100 per month, and they've been around since 1995. Awesome business. So let's look at this business in regards to how it would look if my fund actually invested in this company and bought it from the previous owner. Now, as you can see here, there is a crap ton of numbers on this calculator, and that's because I use this to make very, very sound investment decisions on behalf of my fund, and that requires a lot of data for me to feel comfortable making an investment decision, and it also gives me a lot of flexibility too. But because you might not know the algorithms that are used in this and what all these numbers mean, I just want you to focus on the numbers that are color coded because those are the numbers that are important, most important to investors. So that's where we're actually going to focus on today. So you can ignore most of this stuff if it's not in color. So as you can see here, the asking price is 1.3 million. So that's what we would be looking to invest. That would be the most we would be looking to invest. We do use leverage in a very intelligent way, but I like to analyze deals as if we weren't using leverage because it just allows people to compare across different investments because you're not messing the numbers up with debt. So if we invested 1.3 million and the cash flow stayed the same at 125 million, Assuming we don't grow or don't use any leverage at all, the return that my investors would be getting would be 24% on their money, which is good. When was the last time you got 24% without using any leverage and without growing anything? I think it's a really good return. It's really solid. And that return, as far as a dollar amount, that would be $320,000, almost $321,000 that my investors would be getting off of that particular investment. So definitely not a bad investment at all. Let's compare it to traditional retirement assets. So if you invest into traditional assets like stocks, bonds, multifamily real estate is becoming very prevalent now. If you don't use any leverage and if you don't uh, factor in growth, your average return would be 6% from those assets, 6% or less, to be more specific. If you invest $500,000 in those type of assets, you will get at the most of the time, $30,000 a year. Now, if you invest that same $500,000 into the Abundant Culture Fund and into deals that are like the investment that we just seen, then your average annual income would actually be $123,000. Basically, that's 93,000. You could be making $93,000 more with the Abundant Culture Fund investment as opposed to your current, what you might be currently investing in for retirement. So that's an increase of 411%, which basically means you will be making 4.1 times more than you would with a traditional retirement investment. So let's say you have a goal of making $60,000 a year in retirement. Using traditional assets, you would have to have 1 million invested in order to get that $60,000 a year. But with Abundant Culture Fund, you would only have to have $243,000 invested in order to get the same $60,000 of retirement income. Basically, what that means is that you have to invest $756,000 more into traditional assets as opposed to just investing the $243,000 into Abundant Culture Fund. So that's $756,000 that you now don't have to invest if your goal was to just make $60K in retirement. You can do with whatever you want to with that money. Buy beach houses, boats, nice cars, whatever your thing is. Or you can actually invest that too. And if you do, your income would be a lot nicer than $60,000 a year. So that concludes our analysis of this investment opportunity for the day. Usually our analysis when we're doing it on our own is a lot more in depth, takes a lot more time, but for the sake of time, we just wanted to give you a taste of what is possible using small businesses to fund your retirement. So if you're somebody who wants to double your retirement income in less time with less investment, less risk, and less fees, reach out to us at abundantculturefund.com. And if you're a small business owner who is looking to sell your business, also reach out to us at abundantculturefund.com. Thank you and have a great day.